right. Hopefully this comes through a lot clearer than what I'm seeing, but regardless. First live stream actually this is the second live stream that we're doing here on YouTube. So welcome, thanks for coming. I have like 3 cameras here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Gonzo Tonight Show. We are here live now. We're going to talk about a few things going on in the Supreme Court. We're going to be talking about yet another election update. You might be surprised to hear that the updates keep coming in, as am I. Well, not really, but I'm surprised that there's so much stuff going on. There's more stuff going on than what I had anticipated. And for instance, we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to let some people come in. If you have any questions for me, you can go ahead and ask at any time. Whether you're joining us on Instagram or if you're joining us here on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and leave questions in the chat. Whatever you have to ask me, I'll go ahead and answer. But we're going to be talking a little bit about the Supreme Court. And for instance, the deadline for the Trump campaign to basically submit evidence before the electoral college vote on the 14th. That was yesterday. That was the 8th. This was their deadline. And a lot of people were saying, not much is going on with the Trump team. They don't have any evidence. They don't have anything going on for them. And actually what happened on the 8th, yesterday, is that the state of Texas went to the Supreme Court and basically filed a case stating that Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, their elections were not valid, not constitutional. And that was on the 8th, which was the deadline. And now it looks like there's about yesterday or earlier this morning, there were about 8 states that were willing to jump on board with this lawsuit that the state of Texas was serving. And today, or at around this time, around really 4:42 p.m., we're looking at 17 states total that have reached out to the Supreme Court and basically said that they are supporting Texas's bid to reverse Biden's win. And as I've been saying before, and some of you may have been listening in the past for, when I've done episodes in the past month or so, but I've been saying this, there's still a path for the Trump team to basically stay in the White House. And, a lot of people don't believe that to be the case. And I'm just stating, what I've been seeing here, according to the Trump team, according to the hundreds of affidavits that we have seen come in, a lot of things going on. And according to the Constitution as well, there's a clear path for him as long as he proves that the election was, in fact, let's say it wasn't valid. There's enough cases of voter fraud in X amount of states that basically says the electors can't vote on December 14th, which is in a few days. And they met that deadline, or at least we'll see. So what happens is if the electors can't vote on December 14th, then hold on, I'm checking to see if my YouTube stream is working still. But if the electors can't vote on the 14th, what happens next? It goes to Congress. And the Congress, it goes to Congress on January 6th. And this isn't traditional, the 400 and whatever congressmen and women vote on who's going to be president. It's one vote per state. And the vote that is being cast is based on the state majority. So if let's say Florida, for example, let's say their majority is Republican. Their Republican majority, then one vote automatically goes to the Republican candidate. New York, majority Republican. Majority Democrat, then that one vote will go towards the Democratic candidate, who in this case is Biden. And I'm still trying to figure out the YouTube stream here. It doesn't look like it's check resolution, stream health warning. I don't know if it's going through, but at least the Instagram one's going through, so that's okay. So this is big news for the Trump team because now 17 out of the 50 states have jumped on to support Texas's claim that the election in those certain states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania, it's invalid. So it's a big deal for the Trump team, and the Supreme Court is now deciding if they're going to agree with them or not. Obviously, Trump's legal team is going to be pushing that heavily. Rudy Giuliani is going to be doing the best he can to push this forward in the Supreme Court. And time is of the essence, of course, but at the same time, their deadline that was on December 8th has kind of now been pushed into January because, this is so unprecedented to some extent that there's new guidelines being put into place. And even though it's so unprecedented, at the same time, this has happened now twice in U.S. history, where we've seen a president basically overturn the results via Congress, like I was explaining earlier. Once in 1800, and I think once in 1820. Now, that is a long time ago, but the amendments in the Constitution still stand. So we're going to be able to see that play out in, today. And, we'll see what happens. But again, it is still very unprecedented because, times have changed. Obviously 200 years later, a lot of things have changed. And this is very unprecedented, the amount of voter fraud we're seeing in this election. But like I said, 17 states are now on board with the Texas lawsuit. So it's basically like a class action suit now. So where 17 states are going to come together, go to the Supreme Court and say, look, here's what's going on. We believe that these 4 states held their elections unconstitutionally and that the election should be invalid. So the Trump team's happy about that. We're just going to see what happens there. As far as updates go on the coronavirus, hey, Zach. We have Zachary Nikolai joining us via chat. Zach, let me know if my YouTube Live isn't working. Just go check it out real quick. I'm pretty sure it's down, but it's all good. As far as the coronavirus goes, we're seeing a lot of back and forth here between state to state, and then two, we've got Joe Biden, the so-called president-elect, coming in and choosing his team, his COVID team, and basically we're going to see what happens moving forward. If he was to get elected as president of the United States, he wants to enforce a mask mandate around the country. The way he's able to do that, now it has its limits, but he would basically have to ask the governors of each state to enforce a mask mandate. And right now, a majority of the states have said that they will not have a mask mandate, a statewide mask mandate. And then what Joe Biden would have to do, Joe Biden and his team would have to go to each county and basically ask the county to enforce a mask mandate. And states like, Alabama, South Dakota, states that are totally against the mask mandate are going to say no. Even all the little counties are going to say no. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, he said no. He said that we're not doing any more lockdowns, any more mask mandates. It didn't work like they said it would. So we're not just going to blindly follow whatever you say we should do. And a lot of states are following his lead. The governor of South Dakota, like I said, Alabama, Mississippi. A lot of governors are following, DeSantis's lead. And then we have governors like Gavin Newsom in California, and we have what's his name, Cuomo up in New York, that are basically saying you need to be locked up in your homes, you can't hang out with more than 6 people, and you need to be wearing a mask at all times. And the governor of New Jersey saying that you have to have a mask when you're eating at a restaurant, and then in between every bite, you take the mask down and take a bite. So stuff like that. And then you go and see people finding them in restaurants with groups of 10 plus, or with their family not wearing masks like they said. And people are starting to, uh, you know, doubt what they're saying or not believe what they're saying. And it's hypocritical, really. Everyone's getting tired of it, tired of the nonsense, tired of being told what to do, but then seeing the same people telling them what the rules are not follow. So a lot of people are getting pissed off, and the smart governors, like Governor DeSantis and all these other governors, they're seeing the people. The people are upset, obviously. So they need to use common sense with the coronavirus. They can't just keep enforcing lockdowns and mask mandates. That's not how we're going to fight this thing. And now the vaccine's coming out. And not everyone's going to get the vaccine. And not because they can't get access to it, but because there's a lot of people that just don't want it. And especially the first batch of a vaccine. I mean, most people are smart enough to say, when the vaccine first comes out, I'm going to wait a little bit to make sure that there's no side effects that we don't know about. But now Dr. Fauci's coming out, and he's saying someone who gets the vaccine is probably maybe still able to pass COVID onto someone else. So now everyone's like, oh, great. Okay. And, people are tired of that. People are tired of the prolonging of the mask mandates and the lockdowns and everything. People are really more concerned now about their economic freedom. They want to be able to go out and work and make money to support themselves and not get kicked out of their homes in January when, because in January there's a lot of people that might get evicted because they can't afford their homes, and the, I forget what it's called, but basically the government has given them until December 30th, basically a break from paying rent. But that ends in January, so if they can't afford it, they can get evicted. So all people want to do right now is go back to work, or, and even when it comes to getting financial compensation, like a stimulus package, for example, that wasn't getting passed because, Donald Trump and the Republicans are trying to pass a stimulus package, but the Democrats don't want that stimulus package to be passed. They want to wait till Biden becomes president, therefore making it political. So they don't care about the American people. They just care about their agenda. And people are blaming Trump for the stimulus package not being passed, and then they're blaming the Democrats or the Republicans or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's always one side that is able to block the other side. In this case, the Democrats have the House, so they're able to block a lot of things that the Republicans and the president are trying to do. But they don't care about the well-being of the American people. They care about their agenda. And that's why they have blocked the stimulus package, the second one, from coming out. And it could have helped a lot of people. Because the thing is, if you're going to tell the American people, stay at home, don't work, you don't have a source of income, but then you don't compensate them for that, that's unconstitutional. That's not right. You can't tell people to stay in their homes, not work, and then, expect them to be fine. People are going to lose their homes. They're going to not be able to feed themselves, send their kids to school. A lot of things are going to happen, a lot of bad things, unfortunately, and we don't want that. But the Democrats obviously think we're expendable and that they can prolong the stimulus package as long as they want. By January, kick everyone out of their homes, whatever. So it's like, come on, people. And I want to know what you guys think about what we should do or what the state should do regarding the coronavirus. How would you handle it, or how do you think they should handle it? Do lockdowns work? Do masks work? Does social distancing work? Because my whole thing about it is we've seen so much regulations and suggestions coming from these officials, and the cases are still going up in a lot of counties. For instance, in Florida, Orange County, which is a neighboring county to where I live, has the most cases, and they have the most regulations and the most rules. They were locked down for quite a while, and they have mask enforcing still. Not really enforcing, but they have a mask mandate. You can't really enforce it. But they have the strictest guidelines, and they have the most cases in the state of Florida. So it's like, what's going on here? If the masks work and the social distancing works, why are we still seeing all these cases? When somewhere like where I live, Seminole County, a lot of people are walking around with no masks. Some people still are, and that's, you can do what you want. That's my thing, is if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, then don't. But in our cases haven't really, skyrocketed or anything. It's been the same. And people just have to realize that this virus is going to be around for a while. Forever, really. Just like the flu. You get your flu shot every once in a while if you want to, and that prevents you from getting the flu. Some of us feel that we have a stronger immune system and that we don't need to go get shots. So, we don't, and then we fight off the flu. It's not a big deal. For some people who have pre-existing conditions, it is a big deal. So obviously they wouldn't go and get a shot. And at the end of the day, my belief about it is the state should not be heavily enforcing it one way or the other. They should be allowing the people to choose, because they know themselves. They know, or their doctors, for instance. They take advice from their doctors. Some people, their doctors are telling them that they can't wear masks because of certain medical conditions. So what are they going to do if they go to the store and they say, hey, you need to wear a mask? Well, I can't. My medical condition prevents me from doing that. And there's plenty of medical conditions like that that prevent people from wearing masks. That's just how it is. So there's got to be common sense when it comes to this stuff. We can't just say masks, lockdowns, social distancing, all this and that. Obey, obey. Because everyone's different. And everyone knows themselves. They know their health. They know what they can handle. Their doctors know what they can handle and what they need to do. And if you're an older person or someone who has pre-existing conditions, then it would be your decision to stay at home and, try and keep yourself protected. If you're a healthy person, no pre-existing conditions, and you feel like you can go take on the world, and if you get the coronavirus, you'll be fine, then that's your deal. That's how it should be. And a lot of governors, like Governor DeSantis, is seeing this now and saying that, look, this is how it needs to be. If you want to go do whatever, go to the bars, go to the restaurants, hang out with your family, have Christmas like normal, have Thanksgiving like normal, then you can go do that. And you're not going to be wearing masks inside your house. That's ridiculous. And you're not going to be limited to only seeing 6 family members. That's crazy. So a lot of people are waking up, even some of the government officials and governors and mayors and all this, they're waking up and seeing that lockdowns are hurting people. You can't control the masks. You can't. And they don't work as well as they say. Dr. Fauci is still going back and forth to this day on what works and what doesn't. So that's just it. At the end of the day, when it comes to coronavirus, there needs to be common sense regulations for your health, for your mental being, for your safety. And at the end of the day, it should be up to you, up to the people, what you guys want to do. Because look, it's been almost a year now, right? It's been almost a year. They said, 14 days to stop the spread. 21 days, maybe a month of lockdowns, maybe. And before you know it, we're almost at a year. And we're still going back and forth with these crazy people. And at the end of the day, these government officials don't know what they're doing. I fully believe that. Let me know what you think about lockdowns, masks, social distancing. What do you think works? What do you think doesn't work? What should the government be telling us to do for our safety? Should we do full lockdowns again? Should we, just open back up like normal? What do you think? Everyone's got their own opinion about it. You clearly know my opinion. You won't catch me wearing a mask. That's just how it is. And there's a lot of places that I'm fortunate to live where I do now because, I go to most places and they don't care. There's places like Starbucks that are big on masks. It's a corporate thing, obviously, because the one that is by my house, I don't think they really care. But then the one that's 10 minutes away, they're like crazy about it. They're like, if you walk in without a mask, you're gonna kill everyone in this whole building. So, I don't think it's that big a deal. I think that if everyone stopped wearing their masks and social distancing and acting like it was normal, I think that it wouldn't be a big deal. We would see, the country as a whole going back to normal. As long as the economy stays the same, as people can start making money again, going back to work, then everything's going to be fine. And people can't take it. They can't take another lockdown. I talked to small business owners. They're saying, we can't handle it. If there's another shutdown here in Florida, we can't handle it. We'll have to close down. A lot of friends of mine own restaurants or they own bars. They said, if this happens again, if we have to close down, we'll close down for good. And that's not good because there's a lot of small business owners. Like in all around the country, I think, restaurants are like 70% of businesses around the country. So small businesses are very prevalent when it comes to, what's going on in this country. What just happened here? Did I just end my YouTube live? Well, I still don't know what the heck I'm doing when it comes to this stuff. Hold on here. Where the heck happened? Oh, well, I'll figure that out later. But anyway, I was wrapping it up anyway. I just wanted to share my thoughts about what was going on here with the Supreme Court update. What do you think is going to happen? Is the election going to stay the same? Are the results going to stay the same, or are they going to be overturned? Has your opinion changed in it at all? Because obviously in the beginning it looks like, Biden won, that's it. But all this fraud's coming out. So obviously there's a lot of changes happening. But go ahead and, send me a message, leave a comment in our videos when this is posted. Let me know what you think about all of this. I'll try and get better at this live stuff because, we'll start the hiring people or something like that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Gonzo Tonight Show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. And go ahead and look at this Christmas cup right here, Christmas mug, brand new. I love it. If you celebrate Hanukkah, there you go. There's a blue one for you. It's just the original one. Don't let me fool you. But check out the merch. Everything is linked in my profile. And you can go check that out there. We've got the podcast link. We've got the merch link. We've got the donation link, everything like that. But thanks for tuning into the live on YouTube and on Instagram. And I hope to see you later. Take care. Yo, if you're still here on YouTube, thank you. I thought I closed it out, but we're still here, so I'm ending it though. I said what I had to say.